Hello, I'm Jamie Shibley, CEO of The Expressory. We're a strategic engagement agency, and we work with businesses who want to grow through relationship first strategies. And the subject I want to talk about today is one that has come up frequently in conversations I've been having with business leaders. And it's probably one that you have faced in your own organization. And that is the challenge that our younger hires, our new generation of hires, seems to have a challenge with their communication and relationship building skills. And it's really not that much of a surprise when you consider their preference for communicating digitally, okay, through text, email, whatever that may be. Actually, email is probably considered too old now, right? Um, but what I want to do is share some strategies and tactics that will help you teach or improve those relationship building skills with your team who probably isn't as comfortable with it as those of us in the generation. So, this is actually a subject that came up when I interviewed one of our clients about 6 months ago. Peter Wilder is a managing partner of Endurance Planning Group, and they are a financial advisory firm. And we were talking about in their field, they tend to hire a lot of uh, students, a lot of kids right out of college. They hire them as interns, and then from that group, they will hire them as advisors. And so I was curious, does he have this same experience? Is he seeing some of those same challenges? And he said, absolutely. I mean, this is a technology first group. They live behind the screen, and we're losing some of that relatability as such. And so we talked a lot about, well, what are they doing to help build the skills that make those people successful advisors? And he shared with me that they've actually been very intentional about um, nurturing those new hires as they begin their career. And so some of the things he shared with me, first of all, is practical exercises are important. So role playing. He shared that typically he will, they'll run through it multiple times as if he's the prospect or the client, and he'll have the new hire go through however they would sell. And he said usually he sees immediately the new hire just wants to dig right into it, and he will immediately stop them and share, like, where's the hello, how's the family? What's new in your world? Where's the getting to know you kind of small talk? And so there's this bit of resetting that, okay, it's not about you as the advisor, it is about them. Make sure you're getting to know them. And so they'll run through this a number of times. And I think it's very smart, um, especially when you think as new employees, sometimes the stuff we're learning is straight out of books, right? Here's our brand, here's what we say. So to actually put that into practice and then remember, this is a person sitting in front of me. And I might be used to just conversing very to the point and on my phone or on through digital channels, but I actually have to have some sort of conversation and relationship with this person now. All right, so practical exercises or role playing. The next thing is storytelling. And Peter tells me that, they'll often ask, what is the most important skill that an advisor should have? And the answer should be storytelling. Because what he says that, is important and what they find is that someone should be able to, or your team should be able to take these complex ideas and language around what you do and turn it into something so simple and in terms that the client or the prospect can understand in their world. Again, you go back to think about it. Sometimes when we teach people about our brand, we're teaching them our language and in our words and probably from books and processes and all this stuff. But how do they get any kind of practice to put it in their own words and in ways that are simple enough that our clients can really absorb it and understand it? All right. Then he went on to talk about small talk. Honestly, I can't say enough about that. And even Peter said, small talk didn't come natural for him even. It's not everybody's favorite, right? And especially for introverts. And it's actually something that we have had so many questions about. We put together almost a small talk. We call it networking questions for people. And there is no, few people to use, but there's no better way to get used to this than to practice. And so honestly, for your teams, if that means sending them out to as many networking events as you can get them in front of, if it means one-on-one, hey, as team members, they just go out and have coffee together and talk. That's the best thing you can do. And challenge them to come. I don't know. I'm a big question person, and our bookstores are full of, and even like the game sections are full of question games. We have these things called table topics. If you go look for table topics, they're conversation starters. Even if you're giving people cards and for a half an hour, they have to sit with each other and just ask each other questions. Get comfortable with this. And by the way, you kind of learn some things about the people you're practicing with. So very, very productive activity. Continuing to remind them that this is an ongoing effort. There's always going to be more practice and room for improvement, especially because in today's world, we're always going to revert back to digital. It's what we do. It's our productivity. You're watching this on a screen right now, right? And so it is going to take us continuing to show up as humans and have conversation in order to be better at those communication skills and the relationship building. But reminding your team that their work and their communication should always be about the client. As you have probably heard us before, if you've listened to some of my other videos, the world of social psychology says that in order to form a long-lasting relationship, I have to perceive that you understand me, that you acknowledge and validate the things that are important to me, and that you care. Okay, so reminding your team that this is client focused when it comes to relationship building and their communication efforts will go a long way, because that's all that other person really wants, is to know that you see them for who they are. And that will start form the foundation of a relationship and everything you need to be successful right there. And finally, the last tool that Peter suggested, and we've probably heard before, is mentorship, which again, it's practice, right? But give them somebody on your team that is probably good at this relationship building, this communication stuff. Just let them shadow, let them follow along, let them have conversation together. And they'll naturally start to pick some of that up. But you got to keep remembering, like, the more that we are behind the screen, the more that's just going to be our behavior, unless we're almost forced into it. And the more we're doing it, the more that it'll become part of who we are. So hopefully these strategies have given you some ideas for how to improve your own communication or that of your team. I really hope that we can get to a place where, and it's been important for me as a mom to help the kids ask more questions in return and be more other focused than just behind the screen. So if you ever want to continue this conversation, if you have more questions, there's always an opportunity to come to one of our monthly Q&As, which you can find in the description as a link, or on our website. Feel free to register and bring any questions you might have, or you know how to reach out to me. But thank you for listening. Until next time.